Alright, this is going to be my video on walking through our work for finding the hypotenuse of a right triangle using the Pythagorean theorem. So the first question is, how is finding the distance between 2 points similar? Well, the similarities are we're still using the vertical and horizontal components. Horizontal. And we're still adding those up. And we're still taking the power of 2 something and then taking a square root. This is also similar. If a right triangle has sides A, B, and C, what does C represent? So C is always our hypotenuse. A and B are always our legs. And then remember, our hypotenuse is always across from the 90-degree angle. Cool. And then what's our Pythagorean theorem? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And which sides are interchangeable? Can be switched. B squared plus A squared is the same thing as A squared plus B squared. Alright, so those are the first 3. So let's look at, I'm just going to do 2 at a time here. So I got 4 and 5. Base of a right triangle is 4 and the height is 3. So if I wanted to draw that out, 4, 3, right angle, we want to find this. 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to C squared. Put a C there. 9 plus 16 equals C squared. I'll be honest with you, this is like one of the most common classic problems. It's a perfect right triangle that has whole numbers that you will see a lot. This is a pretty common problem. It's equal to 5. I'm going to put units in there. For number 5, we've got the base is 12. The height is 5. Still a right triangle. Same setup. So we've got 5 squared plus 12 squared is equal to C squared. This is another perfect right triangle. The 3, 4, 5, the 5, 12, 13, and a couple other triangles exist that create perfect right triangles, which create whole number lengths. So there is 4 and 5. Remember, don't multiply by 2 when you do the little 2's. Make sure you do power of 2. I know I say that a lot, but it is just pretty much the most common error, so I might as well keep harping on it. Harp. Alright, 7 and 8, 6 and 7, same thing. We got a right triangle with a base of 6 and a height of 6 and a right triangle where we're finding C. Over here we've got a height of 4 and a length of 8. I kind of wish I put in some units here, so I'm just going to throw in meters here and centimeters here, even though my centimeters one is bigger, but you know, scales, right? So we're going to do our 6 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared here. We're not going to put 12, we're definitely going to put 36's, and hopefully you will start seeing some things you've seen before, like taking the square root of 72. And then I'm going to do my little shortcut here and say, oh, I know this is a 6, but this is still left over, so my C is equal to 6 root 2. Okay, over here we've got our 4 squared plus 8 squared is equal to C squared. So 16 plus 64 equals C squared. Looks like we got an 80 here. So taking the square root of 80, we can get a 8, 10, 2, 5, 2, 4, 2, 2. I think I did this one in the previous video, but we got 2 2's on the outside, left over 5 on the inside. So we get 4 square root 5 meters. Oh, this one's centimeters, right? Cool. So there is 6 and 7. A little bit more root taking here. So if you get stuck in at that point, you know, go back and practice your roots. And I'm going to do 8, 9, and 10, 11. So here's 8, 9, and so here's 8 and 9. So now they're drawn out instead of just giving you the bases and the legs and stuff. So what are we going to do here? We know we have the legs. So we got 5 squared plus 10 squared is equal to C squared. So 25, not 10. 100 not 20 is equal to c squared. 125, and then we're going to take square root of that to get rid of that power of 2. So we got 25 and 5. Looks like we got 3 5s here. So 1 pair of 5s, 1 leftover 5. 5 root 5s equal to c in feet. 5 root 5 feet is probably more accurate. Alright, we've got this leg of 1 and this leg of 7. And we're just finding c through all these. In future times, you're going to have to analyze a little harder to figure out what you're finding. So we get 50 is equal to c squared, and then take square roots. And get a 5 root 2 is equal to meters is equal to c. And there's 8 and 9. And let's look at this last one, 10 and 11. Now I gave you a situation. So building is 12 feet tall and a person is standing 8 feet away from it. So we got our building, 12 feet tall, our person 8 feet away from it. How far is the person to the building, top of the building? Same deal. We got an 8 squared plus a 12 squared is equal to c squared. 64 plus 144 is equal to c squared. Looks like a 208. So it looks like, what can we take out of that? Looks like we could take a 104 and a 2, and then a 52 and a 2, and then a 13 and a 4, and then a 2 and a 2. Okay, that's super messy. Let's move this up here. 208. Okay, so we got 2 2s, 2 more 2s, and 13 left inside. 4 root 13 in feet. Excellent. And we're going to do this last one over here. We've got a basketball hoop is 10 feet high, and we've got someone is at the free throw line 15 feet away. How far is that person to the hoop? Wow, that person's gigantic. So we want to find that same thing. 10 squared plus 15 squared is equal to c squared. We don't do times 2, do times itself. And we get a 325 is equal to c squared. Then we're going to take a square root, and what can we take out of that? We can take a 25 out. And is that 13? 5 and 5. Looks like we got a couple 13s here. We got a 5 root 13 feet. Alright, so there's 10 and 11. Please let me know if you want any additional assistance. Hit me up on the email.